What's going on, guys? It's Thomas, and welcome back to another episode of Nintendo Tonight. This is a very, very sad episode for me, as I am currently in mourning. My blue snowball microphone that I have been using since before Switched Up. So I got this microphone when I was probably 12 years old, maybe even earlier than that. It was probably around a decade of use. It's one of those tech things where it's like you can't even really be mad once it inevitably dies, and because it's just you've had it for so long. But new mic, so let me know in the comments below if I sound better, worse, or whatever. I'll try and adjust some settings if need be. But besides that, welcome to episode 72 of the Nintendo Tonight podcast. We got a lot of interesting stuff going on. PJ has gathered up a lot of great news, some news that missed the cut, and then some big Nintendo leaks to talk about. And then, gonna be honest, I don't even know what the segment itself is. So PJ will be able to introduce that, I guess, either now or once we get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We will get there. So yeah, starting today with news that missed the cut, boys. So essentially, Nintendo put out this trailer on their YouTube channel just saying, hey, the Donkey Kong Country series is fully on Switch. I remember a couple episodes ago, we were just talking about how Nintendo has done a great job kind of bringing a bunch of full series onto the Switch, so this is cool. The only thing I kind of wanted to note here was Donkey Kong Country Returns HD and just how much of a weird release it is. Like, Nintendo has been doing these kind of ports now that just suck. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, Dark Moon, the port.
Wow, tell us how you really feel.
It's pretty mid. It's pretty ass. Gonna be honest. Like,
yeah, and, I can't even. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can't argue with you.
Donkey Kong Country Returns HD also. It's kind of a joke, right? Because originally the game on the Wii was $50, and then they ported it for the 3DS with content, and it was $40. And now we're on the Switch, and now it's $60. So, like, yes, inflation, but guys, we've just completely gone backwards. Like, this game just misses content, and it's a waste of money. Like, it's pretty much, at least to me, what I'm seeing from this, like, it's just a sign of the times. Like, we all know the Switch 2 is coming, and Nintendo's just kind of filling the void with these ports, but it's just kind of disappointing. But, if you haven't played the game before, Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze are both really great games. So pick that up if you haven't played it, but not to be your financial advisor or anything. But I personally would not buy the game. Like, it's just a waste of money. If you have a 3DS, play it there instead, honestly. And next, we're going to go to Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And Thomas, you actually wanted to talk about this a little bit because you've played it.
Yeah, so basically this game did get announced for the 3rd, which is the day we're recording this, but it released like a day or two early in almost every region. So I've been playing the game a little bit, and my super snap judgment review, which again, it's hard to review any Animal Crossing game, but much less this one, mere days after the fact that it launched. But I will say this, it is just jam-packed with content. It's almost overwhelming how much content is there. It's like very difficult to find what you want to like buy from the shop or what you want to try and craft, because there's literally just so much in the game. So that's a good thing, I guess, but when you start, it is definitely a little bit overwhelming. The one funny thing I have to say about this game is I pre-ordered it on the App Store, which is just like a little button you can click, and I did not know that pre-ordering a game that costs money, normally I pre-order like Apple Arcade games that I get included or free to play games that are coming out. I don't think I've ever pre-ordered a game that is like a one-time purchase game. So I woke up on, I think it was like the 1st or maybe the 2nd, and the game had released early, so it came out, and I got an email from my dad asking why his card was getting charged for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, because I'm in the Apple family or whatever for Apple Music, and it just bought the game. It did give me a chance to choose my credit card or nothing, so that was mad funny. My dad was like, come on, you could, like, you literally make it, like, write it off as a business expense at least. You do not need to be charged. I was like, sorry, Dad. I hit him with a Venmo as apology. But yeah, the game is great. Once again, I will remind any viewers that if you are interested in this game, I'd pick it up before, I believe, the end of January. Because yeah, I'd say pick it up before the end of January, because it's on sale until then. It's like $10 USD. So yeah, that's all we need to say about that.
Okay, quick question before we move on, really quick. What is the purpose of a digital pre-order?
Yeah. True.
It's just how they get
Is
your
it a
money.
preload?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even think it was a preload. It's just how they are able to get your money. I don't know. Certain games will have like pre-order bonuses.
Yeah.
like digitally. This was not one of them. I think it's just a way to be like, yep, I'm gonna pay early.
Yeah.
So kind of a scam,
Okay.
but whatever.
All right,
What's next?
moving on here. So guys, once again, we're not going to show this on the screen, but leak time. Oh my God, leaks again. Daily Mail time for
boy.
Mac. So essentially, big video. This like website Billy, I think it's some like news site.
It's a big social media in like China, I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like
so
like almost like a Reddit from
It's
what
like
I
their
understand.
X.
I see.
Everything,
The everything app.
the everything Billy.
Anyway, so kind of the main notable thing here is magnets confirmed, potentially. So we actually see in this video, again, we're not going to show it, but if you know, you know, that these Joy-Cons are actually snapping off of the Switch opposed to the sliding. So really quick thoughts, like if this is real and this is actually how the Switch 2 is, like what do you guys think of this?
My prediction, which I guess technically is your prediction that you brought up on the podcast, Mac, but then I put it in a couple of videos, how because the Joy-Con now with the magnets, if all these rumors and leaks are true, which I believe they are, they will not slide onto the Switch, but instead kind of snap off. I don't think they're going to name it Nintendo Snap or nothing like that, but I do think the Switch 2 logo or like intro animation for every trailer will have them coming in from the side, which the more and more I think about it, the more I think that's true. I think that's going to be how they're able to differentiate games that are like made for Switch 2 is with that little intro at the start. And I just thought that was funny because that's what you came up, or I guess came up with that. You had that idea on the podcast.
It just makes the most logical sense. Like if this is
Yeah.
the direction they're going, like it's a callback to what the Switch 1 was, but also like has a little influence on what the new console is. I have a problem with this.
Oh.
It doesn't look real. It looks very, very, very 3D printed. It doesn't.
Wow.
It does not
Wow.
look like something. It doesn't even look like a prototype to me. I think these were really
Shocking.
sloppily put together. But you know, it's neat. For sure, it's neat. If
Mac
the Switch
hates
2
when we
has
cover
magnets,
leaks.
nothing feels real to me. I wish I could get excited about this like everybody else, but I don't know. And even if it was real, it's not very exciting. Like, what is a magnet Switch Joy-Con do that the original doesn't?
Nothing practically, but there's a chance that it's higher quality.
Okay,
and
I take that back
potentially
really
no
quickly
drifting?
because my sister actually ruined one of my Joy-Cons this past
Oh,
week
no.
while I was on vacation because we were playing Mario Party, and she was like, "Can I play a couple more games by myself?" And I was like, "Sure, play Mario Party by yourself. That's a little weird, but fine." I come back, the Joy-Cons are put in my Switch backwards.
Oh,
Like-
no.
Oh yeah,
Literally
yeah.
backwards, and they're just scraped up down the side of the rail. I'm like,
Oh.
are you serious? Like, you have your own
Yeah.
Switch. You know how
I think
these
my
things
sisters
work.
did. Yeah, I think my sisters
So
did that
with
to
a
mine
with
couple
with
times.
a with a magnet, that won't happen. So you know, maybe that fixes that very.
Here's my
specific-
question: can we put the Joy-Con 2 magnet Joy-Con on the fridge? Because that's what I think when I think magnet, bro. If I can just kind of put it on the fridge, no practical use at all. But that is the first like picture and community post I'm taking after I get my Switch 2. If
Oh,
there
yeah.
are magnets, I do believe there are. But besides that, we really don't see anything that different on these Joy-Con. And Mac, I'm kind of half with you. I don't necessarily know entirely if these are correct, but what is or I guess not correct, but like real, like not, not fake trying to deceive people. But I do genuinely believe that when you get this close to a console launch like this, like there was just a thing that came out that Nvidia shipped a bunch of chips and they've been like assembling since September. So like we are close to this console. Manufacturing leaks like this sort of thing are bound to happen, whether, again, whether this one's true or not, I don't know. But what I would say is I think because we're seeing the same form factor over and over and over again, this kind of happened with the base Switch too. Like everyone kind of knew it was, they said it was going to be a hybrid console, but then this, like the leaks kind of directly showed like controllers on the side. You can kind of put it in a dock. And within that, there was a little bit of gray area because it was a new concept being the Switch. But like when all the leaks are kind of pointing to the similar sort of thing, I think it's, it kind of just proves, but it does
Or-
make me lean towards. Yeah.
Or they're
Let's hear it.
piggybacking off of other fake leaks to make their new leaks seem more credible. That's where my mindset goes. They're
Yeah,
know.
but
I-
it just
I
kind
can
of
see
it just
that.
looks really similar to the initial leak we got, like the
That's what
thicker
I'm
side
saying.
buttons like on the Joy-Con. and everything.
The way I view this is that they saw that original leak and were like, "Oh, let's 3D print this and then put that out there as like a concept, so people will, click on it and it'll."
So you really
be
think
shared
it's
around.
3D printed? Wow, that's surprising.
Just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's-
you think what you think, man.
We
Like,
can
it's
argue
your
about
opinion.
whether
It's
a
all
leak
good.
is real or not forever.
Yeah.
I think the more interesting question is if this is real, what is the practical use of this?
True. Like, what does the magnets actually do?
Like there's also like an extra trigger on the back, which to me
Yeah.
that just seems like the way you take it off of the console. Like it'll be like that small circular button
Yeah.
that you use to slide off the rail. I think that's probably what it is for.
I will say
magnets.
the document either says magnet release button or that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
There's
for
also 2
horizontal
IR
play as well.
cameras. That's like
That's
a random
interesting.
thing I want to say. 2
That is
IR
interesting.
cameras. Dude, if they
Yeah.
actually do that, if that's one of the big, like, not selling points, but if that is one of the only, like, new features is 2 IR cameras, what are they cooking with the IR cameras? Because they barely used one when they had one. I guess maybe having 2
Only
means that
11
everyone will-
games. 11 games, not even including Nintendo games. Just like games in general on the Switch use the IR camera. 11.
Yeah.
What-
I have no
why-
idea what-
What are they doing with that?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm trying to think, like, if there is any reason for having a second IR camera. The only reason I can think of would be like specifically for like a Mario Party game where everyone has to use Joy-Cons. Then everyone would have an IR camera, so you could do like a game that everyone uses the IR camera for. But it seems like that's such like a roundabout odd way to develop a game solely
I feel like
based
that's
on like
very backwards, right? Because
Yeah.
Super Mario Party, we had that, and like any games that have kind of been Joy-Con only. I don't think there's any game that's like super highly regarded that's Joy-Con only. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like if you're cutting off controller options, that's just like a net negative to me. Always.
I mean, what like
There's only 2 games that are Joy-Con only.
Yeah.
1, 2 Switch and Super Mario Party. If I'm not
what
mistaken.
about what about
also Pokemon
Switch
Let's Go?
Sports?
And
Oh,
that-
true. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's
I
go
think
and
Switch
Switch
Sports-
Sports, right?
I think Switch Sports was
Yeah,
Joy-Con
Switch
only.
Sports. Yep.
Maybe like the soccer mode you could use your I think it was
Soccer
it was
mode, you
Switch-
use 2 Joy-Cons. So.
Okay, but no pro controller. So yeah, but your
Game
point stands.
specific,
There's
but
like
yeah.
very few games in the console's life are going to be Joy-Con only. So unless they're then also adding in an IR camera to the Pro controller, but that would then be like, okay, then you can't really use your old Pro controller in all the games that feature the IR camera. I hope this is fake solely because adding another IR camera just feels like you're passing on more cost to the end consumer for what? At genuinely nothing.
Yeah.
Unless they go Nintendo Labo Switch 2 Extreme mode, then I don't see it. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about these. I'm not sure what else there really is to talk about from the Joy-Con leaked perspective.
Yeah, I think I was just going to say that I think it's overall good if they're going to be removing the tracks just in general, because I think that was kind of flimsy in and of itself. So if we move to like magnetic Joy-Cons, I think that's long-term probably good. Also just wanted to say kind of my wish list for Switch 2, at least like as a Nintendo fan, rather than somebody like trying to be sold the console as like a non-Nintendo person. Like, I just want, better specs and quality of life upgrades, and magnetic Joy-Cons to me is that, and hopefully they can address the drifting problem for good. So that's kind of the wish list with that. But hey, another leak, we shall see if it's real or not, but hey, magnetic Joy-Cons, guys, haha. We're so bad.
If you're not happy about us covering leaks, tell Nintendo to announce something worthy
Exactly.
to talk about. It's hard out here, man. It's tough world.
All right, moving on to this week's segment, guys. So the winter season is upon us, and here in Canada, we have started to get snow. Thomas, maybe you've gotten snow as well where you're at, but it is getting pretty cool outside. But yeah, today we are going to be going through some iconic Nintendo wintry and snowy locations and doing a little tier list, ranking all of these together. So let's
Feeling
get
festive.
right into it. Yeah, we are feeling a little festive. getting into.
I got my
snowy
fireplace going over there. I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready to get cold with some winter themed levels.
If you want a real fireplace, Mac, you should just I think there's a fireplace app you can download on your Switch that will also play a fireplace looping video, but also with your Switch and it's prone to overheating nature, you'll actually get the warm element of the fire. So, it's kind of a win-win right there. I mean, hey,
that's a deep cut right there. That's a deep cut right there.
Ridiculous.
Switch, yeah.
I still can't believe your Switch overheated and shut off playing Mario Party. But
I need to make a video on that. I think I'm adding that to the calendar.
Yeah, that is
why we need the Switch too. Because my Switch is going to blow up my house because it's going to catch on fire just like that fireplace. And I'm not going to have a house anymore. I'm not going to be able to make videos. So Nintendo needs to release the Switch 2 for my own well-being.
Yeah.
So true.
And so I can stop seeing these dumbass leaks. Sorry.
That is true. No, you're right.
It's true. True. You're not wrong.
Okay, let's do a tier list, PJ.
Yep. Let's start off here with Freeze Easy Peak, I believe it's called, from Banjo-Kazooie. Thomas, I know you love this game.
Oh.
So where are we going to rank this one? So just to be clear as well, we can just rank this as how nice it looks, how fun the gameplay is. If it's a terrible level, we can put it in F. But, we're kind of free here in terms of ranking. There's no exact parameters.
I'm gonna be honest, as I think probably the biggest Banjo-Kazooie fan in this call, I've played through the game a couple of times. I haven't played it in a while, and I think partially because of that I don't remember much about this level, if I'm being honest. So I would say
slap it in C.
Yeah, maybe by not being memorable. It's not like actively bad. There are some ice levels that are actively I actively do not enjoy, but this one is just kind of like almost forgettable. Maybe once I replay the game I'll be like, okay, this is better, but I genuinely don't remember much about this level, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. Yeah, we can slap it in C, Jack. I think just for now we can come back.
Yeah.
Moving on here, we got, I believe it's called the Hebra Mountains from Breath of the Wild. So Breath of the Wild dudes, how do we feel?
This one is like, it's one of the only like epic snow levels on this list. Like if I'm looking through everything, like it's the only dangerous snow level out here. The rest of them are like very cozy locations, But
I see a little Metroid
like
Prime
the
in there
stakes are a
that
little
might.
higher.
Yes, you do.
There's
Metroid Prime in there?
yeah, there's a little
Yes,
Metroid
there
Prime
a
in
little
there,
bit.
I think.
Okay. I'd be down to put this in A.
All right. Down.
I would be down too. I think what stops it from being S to me is solely and I understand this is a gameplay design, and a lot of games have this. The temperature system.
I was gonna say
in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I understand why it's there. I do not find it fun at all from a gameplay perspective. I understand the point is to try and encourage you to buy, different clothing things and whatever. But if you're not someone who is like, trying to really boost up your economy, like I feel like a lot of what makes those games great is you can find most things just naturally throughout. You can find like weapons naturally throughout the game. So a lot of times when I'm playing Breath of the Wild specifically and Tears of the Kingdom, I don't have a lot of money to just go drop on a random new outfit, but there are certain places like Death Mountain that's super hot, and obviously Hebra Peaks, where you really can't go there unless I know you can craft a potion, but that puts you on a time limit, which I also find annoying. I don't know, I think that's what prevents it from being S tier in my mind. But if that system wasn't there, I would make the case for S, because this is a beautiful location in Breath of the Wild.
Yep, agreed. Moving on here, we got the iconic Cool Mountain from Super Mario 64. How are we feeling?
I think it's a little overrated.
Ooh.
I love Mario 64.
Mac definitely kills the penguin every time. He definitely does. He throws it off the cliff all the time.
I can't stand that penguin crying. No. The penguin slide is really what carries this map. Like, besides that, all the other stars in this level are kind of boring. And it doesn't really have a great atmosphere. The only reason it's more iconic than, in my opinion, Snowman's Land later in Mario 64 is because this level comes earlier in the game. It's the third level in the game. So I'd be down to put it at like B, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Thomas, what do you think?
I'd be fine with that. Originally, I was thinking low-key, like a little S, because it's just so iconic. But I am
Yeah.
fine with B because I do agree with you. I think the penguin slide carries it super hard. Also, I didn't ever really think of this until right now, but just from the little image that is on the tier list. So it's snowing. There's snow on the ground, but there's unfrozen water in where the penguins hang out. So I don't
The
know
logic
what.
is not there.
Yeah.
The
So that's got to
logic is
knock it
there
down to
in
F
so
tier.
many
No, I'm kidding.
slams,
Yeah, give them a break. They just didn't have that updated weather knowledge back in the era of the
Yeah.
N64. They just didn't know. Anyway, moving on here. DK Summit. Anywhere from Mario Kart, but just in general, DK Summit. Honestly, I would say S. I think this is literally a peak Mario Kart track. Like, it's
Yeah.
so sick. It's so sick.
I'm right there with you. The atmosphere is perfect.
Yeah.
The track is perfect. It's got perfect music. It's everything about it's S tier written all over it.
Completely agree. And I would specify also that I love the Booster Course Pass. I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best Mario Kart game. I've been on record saying that plenty of times. This is one of the courses where the vibes of it do not even hold a candle to the original vibes on the Wii. I feel like it was a lot more like snowy on the Wii. It was like visibility was a little bit worse. It just felt, I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia, it probably is, but I genuinely believe the Wii version of this course is like the perfect vibes for a winter Mario Kart course. It's a little bit hard. There's a lot of fun stuff going on, and it just reminds me of like cozying up on a cabin, like at a cabin playing, a little bit of Mario Kart, like going skiing the next day. This is just the vibes are A1 for the original Wii version of this track.
Agreed. Easy S. Easy S. Moving on here to the iconic Switch Stop game, 3D World. We got 3-1 Snowball Park. This is actually the infamous course in which you can do like little crouch spam to move way, way faster on the ice. Little bug. What do we think?
I'm gonna say specifically because of that, I would say A or S. That is the most. I think this is the most fun level in this game if you are willing to do that glitch, because it's almost like they knew that was a thing, because they added a propeller box into that level, which combined with crouch spamming on the ice, which basically you just run forward, spam the crouch button, you can build up literally infinite momentum and skip the entire level, which is so fun. Like a lot of 3D Mario games, their most maybe not iconic, but some of their best like player enjoyment moments come from glitches and like weird movement like patterns that you can pick up on. And 3D World really doesn't have a lot of that because of its kind of somewhat restrictive moveset in comparison to the others. But this is the biggest example of like, oh yeah, no, you can still have a lot of fun in this game. Like the momentum can still be completely busted. You could just fly across literally the entire level. If you do this in multiplayer and your friends don't also do it, the screen just follows you, so they all die. I think this is a really fun level. I'd say, I'm fine with either low S. I would personally say low S, but I understand that's probably 3D World bias, so I'd be fine if you guys want this.
So here's
anywhere
my
in
thoughts
there.
on this level. I had no clue about that glitch whatsoever, and I was also gonna say S. I think this is one of the most fun levels in the game. I love skating. Or is this the one with the ice skate?
Yeah, you can get it. You can get the Goomba ice skate later on in this level.
I love that power up. And also the music and just the visuals are just perfect winter
good.
vibes in a Mario level. So yeah, I'd go S as well.
I'm down to put it S, yeah.
All right, let's do it. I will take a. I think it's worse than DK Summit. I would say. I think
DK
Summit is still number
definitely
one. Jack
worse.
was
I'm
asking
right
where
there.
to put it
Yep.
on the tier list. I will say before we get into the next one, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I guess a bit of a break on discussing the philosophy of the aesthetics of different snow levels. I am unapologetically way more of a fan of snow levels that take place during the night than the day. I don't know why it is, but I think the sky, they always have this nice little, especially in Mario games, this nice like purpley, bluey, starry sky, clear sky. I don't know what it is. Like it contrasts with the white of the snow really well, I guess. And sometimes they toss in a little Aurora Borealis Northern Lights action, which is so beautiful. Nighttime snow levels for me hit so different. I don't know if that's like widely agreed upon with you boys, but for me,
I totally agree.
it's a
I
night and
think-
day difference.
I think it definitely creates like better visuals because like the ice is like super like white and then the sky is
Yeah.
like darker, so it creates a good contrast that isn't there during the daytime levels. So yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
For sure, boys. Yeah, definitely easy S here. Moving on, we got Phendrana Drifts from Metroid Prime 1. Little curveball. A little bit of a curveball.
Yeah,
I'm down to put this kind of in the middle here because I know we're not a whole lot of Metroid boys, but
Yeah, I think our lack of just experience with Metroid, like I've played this level, but I don't really have a connection to it in the same way that, you know, people who are huge Prime fans might.
yep.
I would say this is a good level. The aesthetics of this one are really nice because it's like a
Especially for
hazy,
the
like,
GameCube.
Yeah, yeah, it's like hazy. Your visibility's a little cooked, and just geographically, I guess is the term. There are like these giant rock like pillars and stuff that somewhat obstruct your view, and some of them you can climb up. Like I just think it's a fun, good looking level. Obviously because it is a Metroid Prime game, it's more like. It's not like a festive snow time, like, you know, Snowball Park cheery
Like
level.
dark and
It's
gritty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's dark and gritty, very atmospheric. The music in this is super like calm and relaxing, like atmospheric, but with like hints of like, oh yeah, you know, you're still on a foreign planet, like alone fighting. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a good one. I would be down to put this in either high A or low B. That would be my.
Yeah, I think
Or
low
sorry,
B.
reverse it. You know what I mean. You know
Oh,
what I mean.
yes.
I meant low A or high B, but I'm fine anywhere within those two tiers.
I think we hit it high B there. I think that's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down
right.
with that. Moving
Phendrana
on,
Drifts.
Pokemon Bros. We are so up. We got Mount Silver, specifically in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, of course. This is where you fight Red. Very iconic location, of course. I always loved the fact that, yes, this is on the DS, but like the kind of ominous vibe that you feel when you go up to Red and, you know, the blizzard comes in and the music starts and his over-level team just like comes at you. Like it's just so iconic. Like Mount Silver is just like one of the most, just the greatest Pokemon spots ever. So I'm going to be super biased here, but what do you guys think of Mount Silver here?
I like it as a climax for the game. I think it's a super interesting, like it's a literal like the peak of the game.
I was gonna
like,
make
the
that
very
joke.
Literally.
very end. I don't know if this is like all the time or not, but the sunset on Mount Silver, I don't know if that's like every single time you go up there, but in that specific picture is like super unique. It like also has that same feeling of like this is the end of your journey. You've reached like the very end.
Yep.
I really like this one. I would be down to put it low A. That's where I'm leaning right
Same
now.
here.
Yeah,
Thomas?
I was thinking A tier. I'm fine even putting it above Hebra, but that's up to you guys. I think.
You know what I'd say? You know what I'd say? I think we put it above Hebra for sure. I think we put it top of A.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
I'm down.
right.
Fight it.
All right, so actually, my bad. Same image twice, but Jack, let's use the second one. We got World 4 in New Super Mario Bros. U. Obviously, this is called Frosted Glacier. And Thomas, as you were talking about earlier, Northern Lights kind of action going on here in the background, like so visually amazing to just look at. So, what do we think about World 4 in Mario U?
Oh. I don't know. Is this World 4? This might be, not that it matters, but it might. Oh,
Yeah.
no, it is World 4. I looked it up. I was going to say it might be World 3, but maybe. I guess World 3 is the unlockable. Or this is like the split path area.
Yeah.
In that game, because the overworld is like kind of like all one big
Weird,
thing. So
yeah.
yeah, you're right. It is World 4. I always thought it, or I always kind of viewed it as World 3 in my mind, but it is. You're right. It
It's
is World
because
4.
commonly I feel like a lot of 2D Mario snow levels go World 3. I think that's why.
Yeah.
Like they've done
Yeah.
that a lot of times before. But anyway, yeah, I just love this. Like the Northern Lights looking in the background. Love it. Like I love when 2D Mario kind of really puts detail into the background because obviously it's 2D Mario. Like, you know, you got to look at it a little bit. So very satisfying. I think they cooked here for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's just a lot of fun to be had in this world, but I don't think it reaches like the iconic levels of
No.
the
Like,
other stuff.
I think it's a good looking level, and like I haven't the world. I haven't played the levels in a while, so I'm a little like rusty on what goes on there. However, when I look at our top 4 right now, they just like stand out as like, the cream of the crop. That's not. Is that a saying?
Yeah.
Cream of
Yeah.
crop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
I think this is a B tier in my opinion. I don't.
Yeah,
think
I was
don't
gonna
think we can
say-
get an A tier.
I think
Do
the
we- where
background
do we
definitely
think it
heavily
is?
carries it. I think we
Yeah.
put it behind Cool Mountain, so like bottom of B. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's what
fine
I'd
with
do.
me.
All right, so taking it to Paper Mario, we got Shiver City here. Obviously, Paper Mario 64. I think they kind of cooked here, to be honest, like because as you kind of go through the city and into the overworld, and you're actually going through the chapter of the game, snow will come down, and like N64 is a big deal. So Paper Mario, one of my favorite games. Definitely Shiver City is one of my favorite spots in there. I would say that I think Mario U does it better, so I would be open to either putting that or this after World 4 for Mario U or just C tier, but what do you guys think?
I always like the house cabin designs in this location, so I would say I'm fine putting it right under Cool Mountain, but before Mario U,
Gotcha.
or after Mario U, but still in B tier.
I think this is a good change of pace for Paper Mario. Just like, I think the snowy village here is like kind of cool. I think it's a good vibe, and especially for like a RPG, you kind of need those like location vibes. I would, in my opinion, I'd put it behind Cool Mountain before World 4.
Yep. I'm good with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Moving on here. From Mario Kart 8, we got Sherbet Land. The course itself.
Can I go first?
Thoughts? Please
yeah,
do.
go for it.
This
I'm
level,
gonna rant.
this track sucks, bro.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm with you.
It's terrible for a snow
with you,
level.
yeah.
It's
Not good.
ugly. It has no vibes. The track is terrible.
Yeah,
I'd put this in F.
I was gonna say the same thing. I didn't want.
And I had to put something here so we could put in an F because the F tier was looking a little
Man.
empty. Looking a
Yeah,
little
this
empty.
track is not fun.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
working on an all tracks
disappointing.
ranked right now for 8 Deluxe, and this one is I don't remember where off the top of my head, but I can tell you it's pretty low. I just don't think it's that fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a
Agreed,
rage
Jack.
map. It's just like a,
Yep. I'm with you. Moving on to Super Mario Odyssey, we got the Snow Kingdom.
Ooh.
I always loved this. Like just the
Ooh.
vibes of the Snow Kingdom, like it's just so good. It's
It
just
is
so good.
I think the most cozy game or level Nintendo's ever
Totally.
made.
I'm
Like,
with you.
Once you go inside of the little town,
Shiveria or
Shiverian
whatever. Yeah.
town, yep.
Shiveria, it's perfection. I think the outside part of it holds it back slightly.
Mhm.
I don't think I can put in S tier. However, just the town, what are they called? I guess they're just
Shiverians?
but the little big
the
guys.
bound ball guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even the mini game is super fun. The bounding tracks. You
Yeah.
could turn their blubber into tires.
I was gonna bring that up because that was one of Mech's old concepts. Was killing and skinning the Shiverians.
I
which
remember
is
this.
horrifying.
I remember this.
But funny. Yeah, I like vibes wise. I like almost everything about Snow Kingdom. Again, I think the outside. I agree, Mac holds it back a little bit. And if there was, I wish that there were ways to change the weather or time of day, I guess, in Odyssey, because certain maps like Sand Kingdom, first time you go there, it's all I believe it's nighttime, or maybe
It's
that was New
daytime.
Donk. Okay, yeah.
And then
There's
at some point it switches to nighttime.
yeah, there's within story beats, there are like times. First time you go to New Donk, I know 100% is nighttime. There's just different story beats where like some levels start in the night, some start in the day, some start at like sunset. The story beat for Shiveria is not that it starts at a different time of day. There's just a snowstorm, which is good and fits the vibe. But I do wish there was a way to see this with the nighttime skybox, because I just think that would be awesome with like some Northern Lights action. But that's the only thing that holds it back in my mind. I would be fine with top A here. I think this is a banger.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
I
down.
agree.
Like Mac, like you said, one of the coziest levels, kind of just in Mario in general. So yeah, definitely going with that. As mentioned earlier, we got Snowman's Land up next here from Super Mario 64. Mac, you said that you kind of like this one, so why don't you
I
go ahead?
love Snowman's Land. I think it's one of the most underrated Mario levels of all time. I think the little penguin thing where you're trying to stand behind him so the snowman doesn't blow you off is one of the most creative stars Nintendo's ever made. If it is a little bit frustrating, but it's a short level. There's a lot to do in it. You've got the fun ice bully that like makes that boss fight like 10 times better. You can ride around on a red, or I think it's a red shell, and the level's just made for moving around in a tight space. And I think the vibes are better than Cool Cool Mountain. So really anything above Cool Cool Mountain I'm fine with.
I have a sneaky tier list suggestion. What if
Sure.
we put this at the bottom of A, but then move Hebra Mountain, which is the one right before this, to the start of B, and then move the New Super Mario Bros. Level to the start of C. Just because we're getting
sense.
a bit more selective, selective here.
Do it.
Yeah.
Put that New Super Mario Bros. Level above the Banjo-Kazooie one, Jack, if possible.
Right.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think
Perfect.
that's a good. Now we got like a nice little like bell curve almost.
Yep. I like
So
that.
true. Yep. That's good. All right, moving on here to the Snow Peak Ruins from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. A little bit of a deep cut. Have not played this in a minute, but I always kind of like the dark and gritty style and like the snow and everything like that. I just love the way that it looks. I actually haven't played the dungeon in a fat minute, but hey, looks really sick. What do you guys think? Have you guys played Twilight Princess?
Where is this in that game? How late into the game is this? Because I started Twilight Princess, but I don't think I ever finished it. I'm not sure if I ever got to this location.
I think it's near the end-ish of the game. Like, I think it's kind of low-key hidden. Not gonna lie.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Maybe
I just
recall.
don't remember much about it, so I don't really have much. I wish I
Fair.
could be of more use here, but I don't
Fair.
really remember.
We could just slap it and see.
I've never played Twilight Princess. However, there is just something about like a snow peak at the end of a game that just feels like there's more weight to it. I don't know. Where do you
We
think
could slap
PJ?
it middle of C. I think we slap it middle of C. We
Okay,
just put it there
okay.
because just
Sure.
kind of cool looking. Yeah. Moving on here, we got Snow Point City from Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Very biased. Jack and I, obviously our producer, are going to be very biased here. This is great. Kind of, you go through this whole blizzard walking up to the city. You battle a bunch of trainers, and then when you actually get into the city, I think it's one of the best tracks in Gen 4. So there's honestly not a whole lot to do in the city. Obviously, you got the gym, you got the boat ride that you later take to the battle resort. You also got that temple that you can go in after you get all the Reggies in the game. You can encounter Regigigas. So actually, I'm lying. There's a
a
lot
gym
to do.
there, right?
Yes, there is. I'm actually
Yeah.
lying. There is a lot to do. But yeah, pretty
It feels
sick.
it feels very representative of Gen 4 Diamond and Pearl. Like that
Yeah.
like Sinnoh
Because it's
me
connected to
just,
Mount
like,
Coronet too, yeah.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like snow, and I think this is like the perfect representation of that in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what you said, PJ, I think this is the best snow track in Pokemon.
Yep.
And I don't think it's particularly close. That's the main thing I remember
So
about
good.
this location is the song. I think the song alone propels this location up to B, at least B tier, and then everything else on top of that can move it up even more. But yeah, the music is a banger in this one.
I would be down. This might be kind of crazy, so jump in if you guys think I'm totally capping, but I would totally put this top of B. Like, it's just one of the best ever, I feel like.
I'm
Like,
down
it's
for
just
that.
so good. All right, let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do it.
Um,
Nice. All right.
okay.
Lastly,
This is the
here
last
we got
one, yeah.
we got any winter location here or any winter season in any of the Animal Crossing games. Though I did choose New Horizons because it's the newest and most visually aesthetic. So, what do we think of winter in Animal Crossing, guys?
Okay, so I saw that Animal Crossing Winter, the winter season, I saw this was the last one on the tier list, so I've been holding my breath to talk about it.
Ooh.
This might be wild. I think it beats DK Summit. I think this is the
Damn.
best Nintendo snow like level or situation you can be in. I think Animal Crossing, what is it at its core? It's a vibes game. What is a better vibe than seeing your entire village. There's snowmen around. There's snow on all the trees. Your little characters and the villagers are exhaling clouds into the air because it's below freezing, so their breath is fogging up. You got, like, everyone's excited, not to mention what actually happens in the winter season in Animal Crossing, which is Toy Day, which is literally, like, just Christmas. You get the little jingle reindeer who comes in. The one thing I've done so far in Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete was buy a dang snowman outfit for my guy, so I just have a giant snowman waddling around. I genuinely think this is, especially with New Horizons too, graphically it's unbelievable with the northern lights in the distance. Like, some of the best pictures I took within that game, because I took a lot of screenshots in that game, some of the best ones are from the winter seasons. I think, yeah, I just think vibes wise, it is like, this brings more to Animal Crossing than any of the other snow levels or locations bring to their games, because it's just vibes. Vibes are perfect.
Yeah.
But I maybe top of S is me reaching a little bit, but that's what I personally believe.
Yeah, Mac.
You're kind of convincing me. I was gonna put it high. I was thinking like A tier. However, like you said, Animal Crossing is a vibes game, and the vibes that the snow gives off in you're just a world you built over the summer is then completely filled with snow.
Yeah,
and then all your
it's so
characters,
sick.
they have little red cheeks, and they're, like you said, exhaling.
Everyone's bundled up.
Everybody's
like
super, yeah. I think DK Summit is like one of my favorite Mario Kart tracks of all time. But if we're grading on like the snowy, like, holiday vibes of a level, this wins. Like, it just wins.
I think it's also S. Like, it's just so good. It's just so good.
All
like,
right, I didn't expect that to. I'm glad you guys agree with me. I'm really glad you guys agree with me, because I was expecting some pushback there, but I'm pleasantly surprised that it's at the top. Like, everything, I think that's the best way to view it. Is like, Animal Crossing is a vibes based game. If the vibes are good, it's like next level. And what has better vibes than like cozying up, playing some Animal Crossing in the snow? Maybe it's snowing outside or it's cold, but you got this nice virtual world. It's so cute. I love it. And like, especially with all the Christmas events and stuff that happen in Animal Crossing, like certain Animal Crossing games, you got to go deliver presents to all your villagers, which is just such an adorable little side quest. In New Horizons specifically, I think this happens in New Leaf as well. I don't know, but they like not remade, but they re-instrumented. That's not a word, but they use different instruments for the music. To add like little jingle bells in the background and stuff. Like, it's just, I just think it has to be the best. Like, the vibes are at an all-time high.
I think we cooked with this list, but let us know in the comments below what you think of the tier list, and did we miss any winter levels? Let us know. Just talk to us about the winter snowy levels. We'd love to hear it. Moving on here to the fan questions here. So first off, we got a question from JM Comics from YouTube, asking, do you think we'll see another Retro Studios DK Country game to follow up to Tropical Freeze once they finish Prime 4? And then we'll kind of save the second part of the question after we get to this one. So what do you guys think?
I don't know. Retro is so hard to predict, man. The fact that they released a game in 2013 with Tropical Freeze and will not have another one that comes out until 2015. Granted, they remastered sorry. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, 2025.
A full year.
But like they yeah, I know. Retro, it takes them over a year to make a game. I wish. Oh. But the like Prime remaster, I guess, took up some development time, but there were definitely some canceled projects in there, and I low-key feel like one of those canceled projects was probably some sort of Donkey Kong game, just because like they did a Prime trilogy and then they did a Donkey Kong like new. I think everyone kind of had the mindset of they were doing the next Donkey Kong Country trilogy, because there was obviously the trilogy done by Rare, and then Retro started a trilogy, and maybe maybe that wasn't the plan. Maybe I'm reading into it, but I would really like this. I don't necessarily think that's what's happening, though, because I firmly believe this could be copium. I believe some sort of Donkey Kong game is in development. I don't think they would have him be such a big part of the Mario movie. I don't think they'd be trying to get his name back out there with this port of DKC Returns HD, which is clearly just like the main point of that is like, yeah, Donkey Kong still exists. They have an entire land again coming out for him in their theme parks. I would have to assume that they're at least working on some sort of Donkey Kong game right now, and I don't think Retro is doing that because they're working on Prime 4, unless they're doing 2 games at once, which they've never done before, but they probably
Who knows?
could because they're a big studio. But yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to be Retro who does this, so I would lean no. However, we all know how I feel about like, Retro and specifically Tropical Freeze. So I would not be upset if this was the case. I just think Nintendo's probably working on something right now.
Yeah, Mac.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think Donkey Kong is as popular as he's been in years with like the Mario movie and the Donkey Kong theme park edition to Super Nintendo World. I don't think that we're getting a Donkey Kong Country game anytime soon. I think we'll be getting a Donkey Kong game soon, but I wouldn't expect Donkey Kong Country game just because that's usually a Retro project and they're worried about Prime 4 right now. I'd expect that to be a later Switch 2 release if there is one in development.
Yep.
But no, I don't see a Donkey Kong Country game coming anytime soon.
And kind of the last part of this question, do we think that K. Rool would return in whatever the next DK game is? Being added to Smash implies he could, but at the Universal theme park, he's nowhere to be found. So what do we think?
For sure. He's definitely the most popular Donkey Kong villain. Like,
totally.
By far
Yeah.
away. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say most people, but he's the most recognizable for sure. And adding him to Smash obviously makes it easier to market him in a future game.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'd say it as JM Comics like mentions, it is kind of surprising that he's nowhere in the theme park, and that they instead decided to use the Tiki Tak tribe from Returns in the minecart ride. But I would not be surprised. Also, this might be a somewhat hot take, but if Nintendo, like, I made like a fake movie poster for a Donkey Kong movie based on like the Seth Rogen Donkey Kong from from Mario. The Mario movie, which again, Seth Rogen, like, just saying that is funny. But if they do that, or at least if they return to the Donkey Kong Country from the movie, I think K. Rool has to at least be teased. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the next one, but also I would have thought he'd be in either Returns or Tropical Freeze, just like as maybe a secret final boss or something. So I don't know for sure, but I would definitely hope that he's, somewhere in the next Donkey Kong game, especially if they do a big 3D Donkey Kong game, which I think is what we were kind of suggesting, given that we don't think it's going to be a Donkey Kong Country game, but we think it will be a Donkey Kong game. I think then K. Rool definitely like has to be in that.
Yeah, agreed. We can move on here, Jackson. Last question from Discord from Sun Lo-Fi, asking, if you could give any video game character who hasn't had one yet a spin-off game, who would it be and what would the game entail?
Okay, I have a fantastic question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack said it's a fantastic question. Thank you, Sun Lo-Fi, for this one. This is a banger. I have one that I can just go off rip if you guys want time to think.
Yeah.
Do it.
Pretty obvious pick in my mind, at least. It's got to be Waluigi. I'm not even a huge
That's where
Waluigi
my mind
fan.
is going.
I was gonna say that too.
This is the
So I
like
think we've-
instinctual.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is what comes to mind right away. But I'm not even like a Waluigi needs to be in Smash guy. But it just would be hilarious. What it would entail, obviously, sky is the limit. However, the first thing that I think of is, would Nintendo ever do this? Definitely not. But like a Waluigi's Casino sort of thing that plays into the aesthetic of Waluigi's Pinball. I don't know if this is like a mobile game where you build a casino. I don't know. I don't know what it entails really. But it, like, some sort of Waluigi game leaning into the like pinball aesthetic, which is kind of related to like a casino aesthetic with all those like bright lights and ding ding ding, like different sound effects, whatever. Yeah, I would like some sort of Waluigi, whether it's Waluigi running a taco stand or a casino, no one knows. But I think it would just be like iconic to see Waluigi get a game at some point. I don't even know how well it would sell, but I just think like from a funniness perspective, it's got to be him.
Honestly, I think it would probably sell Princess Peach Showtime type of numbers. I'm going to be honest. I feel like they're on the same level in terms of solo game. I think a
you were onto
Wario
something.
Land type game would be
I was
fun for
actually
Waluigi.
just about to say that,
Yeah?
DJ. I was
Nice.
like, you could do a Wario. Wait, did you say Wario Land or WarioWare?
Wario Land.
Okay, I was thinking WarioWare
True.
I think
Ooh,
like
yeah.
an arcade version of WarioWare with like Waluigi at the helm, where it's like
That
yeah,
I would
you-
actually,
yeah,
I could
you
actually
got
see.
pinball,
That's like
but you
possible.
could also have like a bunch of smaller like arcade like games. I think
Yeah.
that's the direction he would go for sure.
Yeah, I could totally see a WarioWare game coming out where it's like WarioWare Brothers in Trouble or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, it's, maybe it's a co-op WarioWare game. One person plays as Wario, one Waluigi. To piggyback
Yeah.
off of the Wario Land idea, PJ, because you said that and instinctively I'm like, okay, well, what is, like, Wario has his shoulder bash, and that's kind of what separates Wario Land from like 2D Mario. What would Waluigi's thing be? What instantly comes to my mind is those long legs of his. What if you can like charge up a jump so he like crouches and then can jump different heights? And then that kind of makes me think, okay, well, what if Nintendo did like, they again wouldn't do this, but it would be funny to see a Waluigi like Jump King type game where you have to go like super high up. Maybe you get to the top and it's a snowy peak mountain, but you run through and like almost like. I feel like that fits. Again, I don't think Nintendo would do this because they're of the mindset of like video games are solely meant to be bring joy to the player, and rage is like something they try and mitigate. But like
Waluigi rage game, that would
yeah,
be
that
incredible.
seems like it fits with his character almost.
Yeah,
in like my mind,
yeah.
like that he's the I don't know. That feels like
He's a
like
troll.
right up his alley.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be
First
funny,
getting over it.
actually, yeah.
right?
Um,
I actually really like that WarioWare idea. Just really quick before we end off the fan question segment, I think that would be really cool because I feel like the WarioWare games are getting kind of stagnant to me. Like I feel like one drops like once every like 2 or 3 years, maybe even sooner than that, and then it's like popular-ish for like a day and a half, and then we just never hear about it again, and it like randomly sells like maybe a
Yeah.
million. Like, so I feel like if you did like a Wario plus Waluigi, maybe that could breathe some life into that series a little bit more. Because back in like the Wii era, obviously, WarioWare I felt like was more popular, especially with the rise of the Wiimote and everything like that. But who knows?
WarioWare family business, and then there. I don't know. I don't
I
know if
love
they're
it.
even related, but like.
yeah. I think the two working titles we have for this are WarioWare Family Business or WarioWare Brothers in Crime. I think.
Yep. I'm down with that.
I love
Those
it.
are pretty good.
Yeah, our
all right,
choice
yeah.
is Waluigi, Sun Lo-Fi, but hey, we gave a couple good ideas, so there's that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's a great question. There's
That
a
is-
lot
that
of,
is a
lot of
great
potential
question.
answers to that. But I do think Waluigi
Totally.
is like the first one that is like,
Oh, yeah.
like that would be electric.
Totally. Anyway, that was the last fan question. So thank you guys for sending in fan questions. Be sure to leave some in our Discord as well as the YouTube comments. We go through them all and we will definitely answer them in future episodes. But other than that, that is the end of the episode. So thank you guys so much for watching, listening, and be sure to click that sub button, turn on that notification bell on the YouTube side of things. Follow us on social media and follow us on the streaming services and, give it a download because apparently that's the good thing to do. So thank you guys so much once again, and we will see you for episode 73.
Adios.
See ya.